तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो
Today onwards, we shall chant together, okay? Please join me. Sahana vavatu, Sahanau bhunaktu, Sahaviyam karavavahai, Tejasvi avadhitamastu, Ma vidvishavai. Om Shan Shan Shanti. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityo ma mritangamaya. Om Shan Shan Shanti. Good morning. So I think I have told you that I will continue with this story of education, this prayer meeting also. On page number 18, there is one more quote on education, more like the same that we had already covered. The first quote in the page, we want that education by which character is formed, page number 18. We want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. Swamiji is talking about 4 objectives again for education here. The first is you should help us build our character. The second is it should help us strengthen our mind. Strength of mind is increased. The third is intellect is expanded. The knowledge that we gain through school education and college education should help us expand our intellect. ఇక మన విశాల దృక్పథాన్ని పెంపొందించుకున్నట్టు చేయాలి, మన మేధానాడిని వికసింపజేయాలి, రైట్? మన బుద్ధిని షార్పెన్ చేయాలి. We should have the sharpest of the intellect. Intellect is expanded and by which one can stand on one's own feet. మనిషి తన కాళ్ళ మీద తాను నిలబడటానికి ఉపయోగపడాలి. సరే, ఫస్ట్ 3 objectives you forget. The last, to enable a man, a woman to stand on his or her own feet. మన కాళ్ళ మీద మనం నిలబడటం అంటే ఉద్యోగం సంపాదించుకోవడానికన్నా మనం చదువుకునే చదువు మనకు ఉపయోగపడాలి. బట్ దురదృష్టవశాత్తు మనం చదువుకున్న చదువులు మనకు ఉద్యోగాన్ని కూడా సంపాదించి పెడుతుంది లేదు. Somewhere something has gone wrong. Where have we gone wrong? As I think I have pointed out in my last prayer meeting, the objective of education system primarily in our country has been throughout the last 7 decades is primarily on giving information, not skills. ఇప్పుడు మేలుకొని కొంచెం స్కిల్ ఇండియా స్కిల్ ఇండియా స్కిల్ ఇండియా అంటున్నాం. But whereas if you look at other countries like Germany, Korea, Japan, there's no unemployment there. Practically is very less because the focus is always on this imparting skills from school age onwards. Skills which will help them to get a job. So today you have come out of colleges, you have certificates in your hands, some of you are graduates, some of you are postgraduates. But to seek a job, you are not equipped enough. Okay? You are getting rejected because you are not employable, the employer says. Because the connection between the academia and also the industry, it doesn't exist here. Because the education system is separate, business and industry is separate. Whereas countries like America, universities are not government funded except few universities. 95% of the universities are self-funded. Okay, they are funded by private business groups. So for them to survive, they only do research on things which will help benefit the business groups, which will add some value to the businesses. So the focus is to add value to some business. So the research is completely only oriented in that direction, whether the research that I do will help me to generate some business and to make some money or wealth. But in our countries, we just see many of our education institutions, research centers, they do research which is not relevant at all for the present age and also for the next 20 years. Humongous amount of money goes a waste there. I don't know whether I told you in the last prayer meeting or not. Most of the students that I come across nowadays, they said, what are you doing? Swamiji, I'm preparing for groups or UPSC. Groups or UPSC. We have to think actually how many posts are there and how many people are appearing for it. Every year the same thing, right? Group 1 or Group 2 or Group 3. UPSC also more or less has 700, 800 posts. Some 7 lakh people are writing or appearing for it. So I think it is almost 1:1000, right? 7 lakh are appearing, 700 posts are there, let us say. It's 1:1000. You are sitting for a competition where competition is 1:1000. What is your probability of getting into service? ఆలోచించట్లేదు. Again and again you will write. You think that next time we'll get next time. Next time also only 700 posts only will come. Again next time also only 700 posts will come. So 7-8 years you invest your time in that direction. From 21-22 you will start appearing for these examinations. Year after year you will appear for them. 28, 29, 30 years now. You couldn't crack the exam. Now what is your fate? You don't have any employment in your hands. You are not employed. You are not into any business. Now if you are a boy here in India, by 30 you have to get married, right? The parents will pressurize you. You are not settled yet actually. How we can get you married? See, in countries like America and Europe, there is no such social pressure there. Whether you marry at 30 or 40 or 50, nobody will bother. The institution of marriage is not that strong. Practically, it doesn't exist. In India, it's not like that. So you have to think, you have to be practical. We are so airy-fairy. అంటే వాస్తవ జీవితంలో ఉండటానికి మనకు కష్టమవుతుంది. Why you are actually struggling so much for employment? One reason is here dignity of labor is not there. We attach too much of prestige. There is too much of glamour for certain occupations like doctors, engineers, lawyers. Most of you probably are from agricultural community, from farmer community. Everybody says proudly that I am a doctor, I am an engineer, I am a lawyer, I am a chartered accountant, I am a company secretary. But I have not seen anybody saying that I am a farmer, proudly saying. చెప్పడానికి సిగ్గుపడుతున్నారు. Something, such a great calling or occupation like farming, which provides food to people. And today there is no prestige attached to that occupation, not just for the sake of money. Not every time actually it is because of money that we are going into certain callings or certain occupations or certain jobs. Prestige is also important. Tomorrow you bring a lot of prestige to agriculture, where people can proudly say, I'm a farmer. Even if there is not much money, people will go into it. But today, agriculture sector in a crisis because young people are not going into because there is no prestige attached, and also, of course, there's not much money like software and other things. But we have to rethink on our priorities and choices, and we have to make it a noble occupation and a calling. You must attach some prestige to it also. Otherwise, actually, country is going to be in deep crisis in the near future. And one more thing I want to tell you. So, I told you, I had been to Northeast this summer. అక్కడ మీరు ఎక్కడ ఫ్రమ్ షిల్లాంగ్, గౌహతి, Pejpur, Dibrugarh, from any towns in Assam to up to Dwaraka, in the entire north. You just go and select a medium town or city and then open a South Indian tiffin center, okay, where you sell idli and dosa. In 5 years, you will become a millionaire, I tell you. You provide some quality food. There is so much of craving there. India itself, with 1.4 billion population, is a huge market for so many companies in the world. ఇంత ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్కి సరుకులు అవడం కన్నా ఓకే, ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యూ గెట్ ఏ గ్రూప్ 2 జాబ్ అండ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు టెల్ యూ దట్ you think that actually you have a lot of power there. What power is there? You may be a few people are working under you, but there are so many bosses for you also. So many superiors will be there. నువ్వు ఎంత చెప్పినా కూడా నీకు superiors, నీకు bosses ఉంటారు కదా అక్కడ. But there is slavery involved there, where you are not free. You are subordinate to somebody. At least in business, when you do start or some restaurant on your own, you are not under anybody, right? At least you are free. కానీ మనం మన సొసైటీలో తీసుకుంటే ఆ స్లేవరీలోకి వెళ్ళడానికి, ఆ బానిసత్వంలోకి వెళ్ళడానికి ఎక్కువ ఉద్యుక్తులు అవుతున్నాం, కానీ ఫ్రీగా ఇండిపెండెంట్గా ఉండటానికి ఉద్యుక్తులు అవుతుంది. అట్లీస్ట్ ఇన్ ఫార్మింగ్ ఆల్సో యు ఆర్ ఫ్రీ, యు ఆర్ అండర్ నో బడీ. ఎ ఫార్మర్, యూ మే బీ హ్యావింగ్ ఓన్లీ 2 acres of land. Maybe it's just actually sufficient, the income that you generate on your farm may be sufficient for your own family. You can't actually make huge money, it doesn't matter. But you are independent, you are free, you are not under anybody. Such callings we are not interested. We want to work under somebody all the time. Slavery. So that's what I want to suggest you. What you need is not just actually language as such, some clarity as to what life is and some little courage. ఇప్పుడు యువతకి కావాల్సింది ఏంటంటే ధైర్యం. సొసైటీ అంటే భయపడి చచ్చిపోతున్నాం భారతదేశం. హైలీ కండిషన్ సొసైటీ వీ హ్యావ్ క్రియేటెడ్. Every minute we think about society, society, society. But you need to understand, society is after all a group of individuals. Society అంటే ఏంటి? Group of individuals. So what majority thinks and you also want to think in that way only, then where is your originality? You be little different. Sometimes we need to be little crazy, it doesn't matter. See, am I not a crazy being? ఎవరు ఇట్లా సన్యాసం తీసుకుంటారు ఎక్కడ? సొసైటీ ఒప్పుకుంటుందా? పేరెంట్స్ ఒప్పుకుంటారా? సో యూ నీడ్ టు బి ఒరిజినల్. ఫర్ దాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు బి సమ్ టైమ్ మేబీ క్రేజీ. కొంచెం ధైర్యం చాలు. ఆ ధైర్యం ఉంటే బ్రహ్మాండమైన సెటిల్మెంట్ లభిస్తుంది. దెర్ ఆర్ సో మెనీ. You have to have ideas and you have to have the courage to put those ideas into practice. Anyway, it is a long story. I will be enlightening you more about these issues, social issues, the difference between the East and the West in subsequent prayer meetings. Thank you. Nice day.